A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, the BBC has found itself in the eye of a storm following the resignation of its Director General and Head of News after a Panorama documentary controversially edited a speech by former President Donald Trump. The documentary, which aired in October 2024, has drawn significant backlash for allegedly misrepresenting Trump's words during his speech prior to the January 6th Capitol riots. The fallout from this incident has led to a series of high-profile resignations and a legal threat from Trump himself, who is demanding a staggering $1 billion in damages. On Monday, November 11th, 2025, the BBC publicly apologized for what it termed an error of judgment in its editing of Trump's speech. The edited version seemingly portrayed Trump as inciting violence, prompting a wave of criticism and ultimately leading to the resignations of Tim Davie, the Director General, and Deborah Turnus, the head of BBC News. In an official statement, BBC Chair Samir Shah acknowledged the mistake, stating that the editing gave the impression of a direct call to action by Trump, which was not the intended message. Trump's legal team, led by Florida attorney Alejandro Brito, has set a deadline for the BBC to respond to their demands, which include a full retraction of the documentary, an immediate apology, and appropriate compensation for the former president. Brito's letter, dated November 9th, has sent shockwaves through the media landscape as the BBC faces the possibility of a costly legal battle. In response, a BBC spokesperson confirmed that they would review the letter and respond accordingly. The controversy began when a leaked memo from Michael Prescott, a former journalist and advisor to the BBC's editorial guidelines and standards board, highlighted concerns regarding the editing of Trump's speech. Prescott's memo alleged that the BBC had engaged in biased reporting, particularly in its coverage of the Gaza conflict, and suggested that the Panorama edit was misleading and inflammatory. The memo's release led to an outcry, with over 500 complaints lodged against the BBC since its publication. In the wake of the resignations, BBC Chairman Samir Shah emphasized the importance of maintaining trust with the audience, stating that the corporation must act swiftly to correct mistakes. He reiterated the BBC's commitment to impartiality and acknowledged that while mistakes occur, the organization strives to uphold its journalistic standards. However, the damage had already been done, as the BBC faced intense scrutiny over its editorial practices and perceived biases. The political ramifications of this incident have been significant, with various political figures weighing in on the matter. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's spokesperson defended the BBC, asserting that it plays a vital role in the media landscape, while Chancellor Rachel Reeves acknowledged that lessons must be learned from the situation. Veteran broadcaster Jonathan Dimbleby argued that the BBC owed Trump nothing more than an apology, while legal experts suggested that the corporation might consider settling to avoid a protracted legal battle. Trump's history of legal disputes with media organizations is well documented, and this latest threat is part of a broader pattern of confrontations with the press. The former president's legal team has framed the BBC's actions as defamatory, claiming that the edited speech has caused significant harm to Trump's reputation. In his original speech on January 6th, Trump stated, "We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women," but the Panorama documentary edited his words to suggest a more aggressive stance. As this story continues to unfold, the implications for the BBC and its editorial practices remain to be seen. The organization has faced criticism in the past for perceived biases, and this incident has reignited discussions about the need for transparency and accountability in journalism. With Trump's legal threat looming, the BBC must navigate a challenging landscape as it seeks to restore its credibility and maintain public trust in its reporting. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.